Good morning from beautiful Jodhpur. We are in our hotel room right now, just woke up, checking out these amazing views. We have a really cool view outside of our hotel room. Woke up at like 6 or something, was able to get the cool sunrise coming over the horizon, the smog over the city, and then we head to Udaipur today at around 10 o'clock. So we're gonna try and see the actual fortress today because we were able to see it yesterday. So we'll see if that happens. Hopefully we hired a driver today to take us to Udaipur. It's like a 4-hour drive. Every single day we're just going city to city to city. But that being said, we are gonna start the day and head out to the fortress, hopefully see some cool stuff of that, get some cool footage of the fortress, and see what the day has in store for us. Just made it to the Mehrangarh Fortress in Jodhpur. Check it out. So when we first walked into Mehrangarh Fort, it was absolutely massive. We were met by towering stone walls and also a lot of these individuals that were playing these guitar type instruments. But inside was definitely equally as beautiful as the outside of what we had seen the other day. There were so many different rooms inside and there was no detail that was left undone. It was from ceiling to floor, just covered in all these different colors and the shapes and the crown molding, and everything was detailed to the T. So we made our way around the fort, checked out the sights inside, also got to see what it looked like from the outside. We saw another one of these guys playing this guitar type instrument, and I obviously wanted to get some cool shots, photos, video of him, and so I eventually did that. I went up to him and I gave him 100 rupees, which is like a little bit over $1, and he like blesses it. I was like, I don't know, I've never seen like anyone do that before. So he like does the whole blessing and then puts it back in and then continues playing. And then we eventually hopped in the car after we visited the fort and headed to Udaipur, which is also in the state of Rajasthan, which is about 4.5 hours away, or what we thought was supposed to be 4.5 hours. It was actually a lot longer than that because our driver, we realized, was quite slow and possibly texting the entire time on his phone. So our current situation is we've been in the car for 3 hours. 3 hours.
It's a 4-hour, 30-minute journey. We have.
It should be 4 hours. We still have 3 hours left.
We're going 40 miles an hour.
We're running it. There's cows crossing the road. There's people coming into our lane.
The guy's also responding to every text he gets.
There's a lot of texting and driving happening. He was the whole time just driving, just texting the whole thing. We'd hear like little notifications pop up, he'd be looking at it. And so we hopped out mid-journey of our like 4 hours. We're probably 4 hours into it. We were supposed to be there by then. And we probably had another 3 or 2.5 hours to go. So we hop out and we go to the bathroom. So we get out of the car, I'm walking to the bathroom. There's a cow in front of the bathroom. Looking at the toilet, I'm like, So I get in there, I'm like, all right, we'll be in and out, 30 seconds. This is a lot right here. So we eventually go to the bathroom, get back in the car, get back on the road, and then we have like an hour and a half to the city. Right now we are about 4.5 hours into our journey from Jodhpur to Udaipur, and it was supposed to take 3 hours, 3.5 hours. The amount of change in terrain is kind of crazy. We were in the desert for most of the ride, but now we're surrounded by these really cool mountains. I think this is like a part of the area, or part of where like the safaris are as well. I don't know what animals are living out here, but yeah, there's like a safari area. There's monkeys everywhere.
Monkeys are cool.
Yeah, there's monkeys all along this drive right now. It's so tight. Every single time you go past the car, you're like, oh my God, are we gonna get hit? Can't have the AC on because the car is possibly gonna overheat.
It's 105 outside.
It's 105 outside right now, but this view is crazy. It's not the best view, I'm gonna be honest. So we continued our journey, passing cars that were filled to the brim with people, and with about an hour left, we kind of stumbled upon, it was like a wheat farm, and we saw these bulls that were pulling this little device that was catching water. Stopped on the side of the road, and there's this place where they are growing their wheat.
Bulls that are pulling up the water.
Bulls that are pulling up the water from this kind of like pond, lake-ish area, and they have this whole little stream here. So we hopped back in the car and then made our way and eventually got to Udaipur probably around 6.5 hours later. It was a long ride, but We made it and we arrived at sunset. Beautiful sunset over the lake. We kind of just took in the views. But we ended up finding this rooftop where we had a delicious dinner at. It was kind of like an Indian Chinese mix. We had like a tikka masala pizza, noodles, but it was absolutely delectable. Good morning from the beautiful city of Udaipur. We are going today to a bunch of different Avi's right here. Say what's up.
What's up? I can't do this.
Avi's never been a part of a vlog or been in a vlog before.
I'm a little camera shy.
He's a little camera shy, but we're gonna make it work this trip. We're gonna have a few camera moments on him. He's gonna tell us about some different parts of wherever we are, even though he doesn't know exactly where we are in this part of the trip at least.
I'm a foreigner in these lands. May look like the locals, but
quite a foreigner. But we're today in Udaipur, like I said, and we're gonna explore the city. There's some palaces, a little bit of fortresses, some temples as well. So we're gonna explore those, see what's up. And this is the city of lakes. Thousands of little lakes, 2 big ones. Today we're gonna explore the one right in front of our hotel. Our hotel is super nice, has a great view of the water. We got in last night around sunset time, so we were able to see the sunset, which was fantastic. But yeah, today we're gonna explore a little bit, see what Udaipur. Let's go. Right now we're headed to the Karni Mata temple in Udaipur. It's on the top of a mountain overlooking, I think, both of the lakes in Udaipur. It was built in the 20th century. This one's known for, there's another Karni Mata temple known for like rats, which is kind of interesting, but this one is known for its breathtaking views and spirituality, so better than rats for sure. But we're headed there right now. It's about 15 minutes away from our hotel, headed back into the chaos of the streets of Udaipur. So after around a quick 15 or so minute drive to the location, which was the temple, so we got our tickets to the cable car that were supposed to bring us up to the top of the mountain. Snacks and candies they had, and we looked to the left and we're like, what the heck are these? It looked like a cannoli. That's a sign of not a good time in the morning. So kept away from those, but eventually got to sit down right before the cable car came. This looks a bit sketch. I don't know what the maintenance is on this thing, but so how you get up to this temple is you basically have to take a cable car or hike. So we're definitely going to take a cable car because it's about 98 degrees right now, so it's super hot. But yeah, this is what it looks like. So we're sitting down, we eventually get our ticket, we get into the cable car, and so I'm like, oh man, we got a whole little car to ourselves. So all of a sudden this guy comes like walking in. Smells bad. Oh, hello. This guy's joining us. And it was definitely an interesting interaction.
what is going on here?
How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm making a video.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Yes, of course. What's your name?
My name is Rajesh Kumar. I am ex-minister
Ex-minister.
of Uttar Pradesh.
Oh wow. Is this your first time here?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Nice.
Nice to meet you. I'll give you a handshake.
My son is a doctor.
Who?
My son is one doctor, one engineer.
A doctor. A doctor in India. Where is he a doctor?
His name is Alok Manas. Manas.
So once we got to the top, we got out, kind of explored the views, the temple on the top of it, and we got to see pretty much every inch of Udaipur. We've made it to the top.
We're getting
He's
sold
crazy.
some pictures.
Rajasthani costume?
Nice. Look at those. I have camera. I can do by myself.
Okay.
Yep. So we made it to the top of the temple, or as they would call it. The views are definitely worth it. Crazy views. Whoa! You can literally see over the entire city of Udaipur. Wow, it's beautiful here. Got to get shoes off before going into the temple. That is actually a better view. Hot. The floor's so hot. Ow, ow, ow. I think it's probably 120 degrees and my feet cannot handle that. But yeah, the views out here. Glad we came up here. It's really nice. Look at this temple. It's so amazing. And actually, I had no idea how big the city really was until I got to the top. Just the city, it goes for miles with the mountains and the lakes in the background. And they were such picturesque views. And these views are absolutely breathtaking. Look at these. 360 view of the entire city of Udaipur. Then make our way back down get across town with a rickshaw or something and head to the palace. We then started the adventure back down the mountain, but not before we tried one of the Indian sodas. Right now, we're trying to thumbs up. It's an Indian soda. Don't tell me what it tastes like. Looks like it smells like a Pepsi.
It's owned by the Coca-Cola company.
Yeah, it tastes like Pepsi. Alright. Pepsi Cola. Right?
It's like a little mintier.
It's good. Our boy's looking at us over here, making sure we give it the thumbs up.
Without the V.
Thumb ups. We then got in the gondola, headed straight back down, got in a rickshaw, and headed straight to the city palace. We were hoping that we could get in there super quickly, check it out, and then go to lunch. So we were able to negotiate down a rickshaw driver, 200 to 100. Oh my god, that was a glitch one. What's up, brother? But unfortunately, the city palace had other plans. So it was the day before Holi, and so everything was shut down early. So we actually didn't get into the city palace in Udaipur, which is a bummer. So we made the most of it. I got some shots of the city as we walked around, and then Avi had pulled up a restaurant on his phone. He's like, let's try and get into this restaurant. It's like a super cool hotel. So we had another great lunch right there, and then we kind of explored the property a little bit, walked around, took in the views. So we just had an amazing lunch at Lila Hotel in Udaipur. Honestly, this is our goal, to kind of get in, eat some food, and explore the grounds. And this is really cool right now. They're getting set up for Holi, which is tomorrow. So they have all these different wraps on all these trees in different colors and all these flags. I guess they're gonna have a little celebration here. But after that, walked back into the city, got some shots of the different bridges, the people hanging by the water. And we're like, where are we gonna go for sunset? And I'm like looking around, I look at the top of this other mountain across the way, which we had looked at earlier. We're like, that place could be really cool. And I looked at it, I'm like, we could go here for sunset. So we decided to send it to the top of this mountain for sunset. We had no plans at all. Then we had to pay separately for like a taxi driver as well. And so, because we didn't know how all this worked. And so we get to the taxi area, and there's a couple in front of us, and it turns out like we were kind of confused, and then they actually paid for our ticket, which was so nice. They started chatting with us, and they were kind of explaining what was happening, and then we get onto this Jeep with this another family, and so we're packed to the brim. I'm in the back of this with like two kids next to me, and a dad and a daughter, and then we're just like riding up these little tiny roads in this mountain, going back and forth, and this driver's just whipping it back and forth. I was going all the way in the back, just trying not to like fall onto these kids pretty much. But once we got to the top, it was so worth the crazy drive, because immediately we were met by these monkeys playing in trees with the sun setting behind them. It was pretty unreal, to be honest. So right now we are at Monsoon Palace at the top. Crazy views out here. You can see both lakes. We actually started the day on the opposite side. So you'll see that earlier in the day that we started literally on the other side of this mountain, came all through the city and got to this point. It's really cool up here, super beautiful building. So
Let's catch you at the sunset.
there were hundreds of people up there, to be honest, just watching the sunset go down. And it was just such a nice experience just to be there, hanging out and enjoying the amazing views with the other people that were also there. And right as the sun set, the Great Migration started. So we kind of hurried our way out of there because, like I said, there were hundreds of people that were there and also hundreds of people that needed to get back down the mountain. Now we gotta get out of here. There's a lot of people needing to get out of here.
Probably gonna wait a while.
This is probably gonna be a while, oh boy. Crazy views up here. Glad we came up. What do you think?
Very good view of the sunset on that side. Wish it was over the water, but nothing like a San Diego sunset though. I'll give you that.
Get out of here, dude. We eventually made our way quite quickly out of the gates and made it into a car. This is our vehicle mode of transportation.
Couple of big boys in the back.
Got the big boys.
It's gonna be a bumpy run.
Bumpy. We're tight back here.
Packed like sardines in the back.
And with actually the same couple that we were that had bought our tickets before. So we were chatting with them and they're like, tonight's a really good night to go out. Because we were planning on just like sleeping and then going to bed and kind of waking up the next morning, having a chill night. And then we realized it was the night before Holi. And so they pretty much burn these massive totem poles. And so they light them on fire and it blows, like basically it just goes up in fire. And that's all we knew. And I'm like, I have to go. I was like, Avi, we have to go to this. He's like, yeah, no, we should definitely go to this. Quickly change and everything and go back to the city center around like 8 or 9 o'clock. And we get there and it's packed. It's the night before Holi and they're celebrating basically the burning of the bad spirits into good spirits, good vibes. So there's a whole history behind it. Obviously not that well versed on what it is. But right now is this whole massive ceremony in the city center under this temple. It's gonna be crazy. I've always wanted to experience this and here we are. We made it. And like the women are dancing around, there's a bunch of people gathered around, there's a massive totem right there. And so we're waiting, we're like, when's this thing gonna burn? Because we were there for like an hour and we're like, but there's like no one saying like what time it's gonna happen at. And so we're kind of hungry. So we leave there. So we get to this restaurant and it's at this rooftop, which is really nice. And had some drinks, had some food. And then I was itching. I was like, I need to get back down there because like, what if we miss it, you know? So we get back down there, still hasn't happened yet. We're like, when is this gonna happen? So like another 30 minutes goes by. And then we eventually run into the same couple that we saw earlier. And they're like, what's up guys? Like, how are you? And they're like, oh my gosh, no way. Like, what are the odds we run into you here? It's such a small town, it's crazy. And so we get with them, they're like, it's not gonna be on for another hour. And so we're like, what, should we go get some more drinks? And so we go back to the same hotel and go to the rooftop and have some more drinks. And eventually, kind of 30 minutes into that, we start seeing fireworks go off. And it was then it all started. It was really cool to see, just like you're looking over the whole city, there's different fireworks going off, all these different areas, and we're getting to see all this from like the rooftop. And so I'm like, we need to get down there before they light this thing on fire because I need to capture this. So we pay the bill, run downstairs, and we don't go to the main area. We wouldn't have been able to like see like the totem up close. And so we get down to this square, we're gathering around and we're like pretty close to it. And I'm just like thinking it's gonna be fire. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I think I'm at a safe distance, you know. It's probably 20 or 30 feet tall, just all covered in brush. And I'm like, okay, I'm probably at a safe distance here. And this guy comes up, he goes, move back, move back, move back. And we're like, okay, okay. And then he goes, there's fireworks in there. I was like, what? There's fireworks in the bottom of this thing. And if you're too close, kaboom. And I was like, no. We don't want a kaboom. So we go around and we go to a different area and we're hiding behind this little, I felt like we were in like a bunker of some situation. They had this little kind of like hole that we could see through and it was like a sign that was blocking us. And so we're all huddled behind there. And I was thinking, kaboom. I was like, how big are these fireworks? I don't know how big the fireworks are inside this thing, and I don't know how many there are inside this. We're all like against the fence, we're waiting for it to happen. All these guys kind of rush in, they're like throwing all these little fire things on it, and all of a sudden it starts going off, and everyone just kind of like ducking, just like kind of going like this, because all the fireworks are shooting out, pew, 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 like all these different ways. Everyone in the crowd just kind of going like this, oh my god, oh my god. And then eventually that takes probably like 15 to 30 seconds of like the initial fireworks that were happening. And then the whole thing just, and you can feel like the heat from it because it was such a massive fire. But after that first stressful 3 minutes, the fireworks kind of subsided and we were able to enjoy like the whole fire of it. It was really cool to see everyone gathered in the square just like watching this massive fire burn. And eventually when it burns down to like a little bit lower, where people can like walk around it without it like falling onto people, you have to walk around it to kind of ward off like the bad spirits, but you have to walk around it an odd number of times. So it's like 1, 3, someone turns on music, and then we all start dancing together. And I was like, what is life right now? I almost just got killed from fireworks. All these random people in the middle of India, but it was such a memorable experience. We all started dancing around, and it was such a great night. So after all the fun festivities, we made our way back to the hotel, safe and sound, luckily, and we slept because the next day we had to go celebrate Holi, but we were flying to Mumbai. So that wraps up this week's vlog, and see where we went next in Mumbai for Holi.